I want that, you know, people want something now. And sometimes they forget that it's better to answer long term than answer now. Secondly, most people answer physical, mundane. You know, it is a fact that everything I see, hear, taste, touch, or smell affects me directly. That is why you have to be careful for what you hear, what you look at, what you taste, what you touch, and what you smell. When you smell it, if it's good, it leaves a memory in you, because your whole body is wired through neurons and memory pathways and banks, and you remember. So you can remember a childhood friend. Sometimes you can remember the name. You are 57 now and you last saw that person at primary 4 or grade 4, but you can remember the name because the pathway comes straight to your mind. And so what you hear, taste, see, touch, or smell affects you directly, either way, positively or negatively. That is why in the Bible, there are 2 verses. One of them goes like this: take heed what you hear. Another one says, take heed how you hear. Be careful of what people tell you. Be careful of how people tell you what they tell you, because whatever you hear, see, touch, taste, or smell affects you directly. And so God comes to ask Solomon this question, and is he going to answer based on his 5 senses, or is he going to answer based on a higher level of life where his conscience, his intuition, his spirit, his ability to discern beyond the immediate viewing of human life, to be able to go deeper and see deep intent than just surface realities? And so God asked him that question, and in the dream, he said this to God: God, my father has been a very great king, David. You've made him so great. He's done great things. He's fought many battles. You've made him rule over such a great people, your own people, great people. Because sometimes we need to understand that in a kingdom, in a democracy, in any kind of leadership, the people are not ours. The people belong to God. As a pastor, I learned that any form of leadership, the people belong to God. I did not create anybody, and my blood was not shed for anybody. And so people come willingly, and we work together as a team based on a common cause and possibly a common good agenda, hopefully not for evil. And so he said, these are your great people. And then he makes a statement, says, God, I am but a child. I do not know how to go in and come out. I do not know the ropes of the monarchical life. I don't understand the protocol of it. I don't understand how kingdoms operate. But I am only going to ask you for one thing. You asked me to ask you what I want. I'm only asking you for one thing. Give me an understanding heart that I can deal with every situation, deal with all the different kinds of people that make up the kingdom. Give me an understanding heart. Give me a wise heart. Some translations of the Bible say, give me a large heart, an accommodating heart that you can take anything. It's like parenting. When you are parenting, you have a large heart, or you're supposed to have a large heart, because you take everything. The children ask you one question 15 times. Everything, Daddy, can I have this? No, why? Mommy, no, why? Why not? And all that. You know, they ask you those questions all the time. And it's like, you know, you tell them not to do this, and they do this, and they're waiting to see your reaction. You know, you're not responding by what they do. You have a large heart. You can accommodate. You can recalibrate yourself. You hold your emotions. You postpone your words. You take a better look at the situation. You even laugh in the face of a crisis, because you have a large heart. You're able to see beyond the linear way. 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4, 3 + 3 is 6. You have a more exponential, long-term view that can make you accommodate things. And Solomon, as a young man, was able to answer God with, would ask you, what do you want for me to do? We must be able to remove just the immediate now pleasures of January, you know, trying to solve the problems that were caused in December because we are broke, into looking at a long-term view. We must also be able to solve just the physical, normal, expected response of every person into a higher form, because this is what happens. God's response to Solomon was interesting, but before God responded to Solomon, what has become the theme of this discussion is the verse here in verse 10 that said that the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. And I'm saying that let our speech, let our responses please God, because it's very easy to respond in a non-pleasant way, or a non-thought of, non-informed way. Now, as you see what God says, and I'm going to read it from the Bible now, in verse 11 it says, "Then God said to him, because you have asked this thing, and have not asked for long life for yourself, number one, nor have you asked for riches for yourself, number two, nor have you asked for the life of your enemies, number three, but you've asked for yourself understanding to discern justice, that I have done according to your words. I have given you a wise and an understanding heart, so there has not been anyone like you before you, nor shall anyone like you arise after you. And I have also given you what you have not asked. I am now going to give you riches and honor, so that there shall not be anyone like you among the kings all the days of your life. And if you walk in my ways, keep my statutes, keep my commandments as your father David did, I will also lengthen your days." So he asked for one thing, an understanding heart, the ability to discern between good and evil, justice and injustice, and God gave him like four things. He asked for one, and God gave him four. Why? God's response here, as we read, is very instructive. He says to him, you have not asked for long life for yourself, you have not asked for riches for yourself, and you have not asked for the life of your enemies. Certainly he came to the throne, and there's a whole lot of undercurrent going. One brother is against him, maybe the other brothers are siding with him, and the circumstances of his birth were a bit questionable because of who his mother was, and just the kinds of upheavals that can happen when there's this kind of change in leadership. Our trend, particularly in our continent, unfortunately, years gone by, was that once one replaces another, there used to be mass executions, firing squads, because the mindset then was that let's get rid of these people. But it's difficult to get rid of people. Why do I say so? Somebody said the world is run by dead people. And what does he mean? Today we quote people, Malcolm X, Karl Marx, we talk about Hitler, MLK, in a few days' time, Martin Luther King. They are not alive, but they are having an impact on our world today. And so sometimes it's smarter to let people live than to kill them, because when you kill them, you bring into being a multiplier effect, either in fanaticism, in loyalty, in hero worship, in all kinds of things. And so this young guy, is as if he knew. And he said, I'm not going to say, okay, I've come to the throne, I'm going to kill this one, kill that one, kill that one, I'm going to do this, I'm now the MD, I'm going to fire all these people because they were loyal to my former colleague. Because some of those people are institutional memory. They can tell you what to do. There are things that have been ratified before you came. There are agreements. There are companies. There are people who are spin doctors. So here was this young man starting his career on the throne in January, if you like. And he was asking God for wisdom. So I'm thinking that if God should ask you, what do you want me to do? You see, the cars are good, but the wisdom can give you the cars. The cars cannot give you the wisdom. The money is good, but the wisdom can give you the money. Money without wisdom will make you broke, might take you to an early grave. So for him to ask God for a discerning heart, a large heart, the ability to understand issues, was like a winner with God. And God said, look at this young boy. I know people who will be asking for wealth. They want money, they want riches, they want property, they want flats, they want real estate, they want to have a name in every dotted part of the world. I also know people who would want all their enemies to be wiped out. I also know people who want to self-perpetuate so that they will be there forever. And God is surprised, because that would have been what was expected of Solomon. So he can sort out his brothers, sort out everything, and make sure